Hi, good morning, everyone. Okay, ready for the workshop today? I'm teacher Cheryl. Okay, for those that do not know me, especially those online one. Okay, so I will go through with you on business studies first for the first session. Okay, come, let's start straight away. Sorry if I cough. Okay, please bear with me. I'm trying my best to recover from it, but yeah. Okay, so now, what is business studies in IGCSE? Okay, so this is actually found in your syllabus as well. I'm not going to go through everything here because I believe you can read it on your own. Okay, just a few things to highlight. What will you be able to learn? Understand different form of business organization, environments in which business operate, and then business function, marketing, operation, finance, which are all the topics that you have actually covered. Okay, and then also to appreciate the role of business in the business success. Okay, now, what are the lifelong skills besides learning for your IGCSE examination? What do you take out from here after you study business studies? You will know how to calculate and interpret business data. Of course, it's a very brief one. You learn about different financial statement, income statement, okay. And then communication skills. How do you talk to your workers if let's say you are boss in the future? Ability to analyze business situation and then reach decision or judgment. Okay, so next part, content overview. Let's have a recap of all the topics that we have actually covered for your IGCSE. Yeah? First topic, understanding business activities. We learn about ideas and concept of business, purpose, why do we do business? How can we classify business? Primary sector, secondary sector, types of business, okay? Enterprise, entrepreneur, why some business grow while other remain small. We also learned that ways to expand the business, make the business grow. And at the same time, we learn why some business choose to remain small, okay? And other issues. How to measure the business size, type of business organization, sole trader, partnership. Do not confuse private limited company, public limited company, okay? Business objectives, stakeholder objectives. Okay, that's for chapter 1, everything about chapter 1. So chapter 2, you learn about people in business, okay? We learn about human resource. How do we motivate workers? How do we have the structure in the organization? How do we recruit people? How to manage them? And also the training provided by company to the workers, and also internal and external communication. Hopefully you remember all these topics. Third topic, third chapter, we learn about marketing. Okay, so we learn about the role of marketing. When you have a business, you must spread it out to the people around. So there's when marketing comes in. Okay, what is the role of marketing? How do we target market? We have two types of market, niche market, mass market. How do we segment the market? Okay, how do we conduct market research? Why do we need to conduct market research? Because we need to know who are our targeted market group, who are our targeted customers, what do they want now, what is the latest trend now? Will they buy certain things or not? If let's say they are, if we sell the particular thing, will there be demand? And also the marketing mix, the 4 Ps, and also marketing strategies. How do we allocate all these 4 Ps in marketing our product? That is for the third chapter. There are total 6 chapters in your business IGCSE container. The fourth one, operation management. Okay. You learn about meaning and methods of production, how productivity can increase. Over here, remember, some students tend to mix up your methods of production and lean production. Methods of production, we have flow production, job production, flow production, batch production. Okay, 3 types only. But lean production, that's where Kaizen just in time comes in. Okay, don't confuse when they ask you for methods of production. They're actually referring to job, flow, and batch production. Okay, then we also learn about cost of production, break-even analysis, quality control, quality assurance, total quality management. Okay, the 3 topics about quality, and then location decision. Like where do we do the business? Where do we want to have the business? Whether you want it to be near customers, you want it to be near your suppliers, or you want to be near to your competitors. Okay, so all these things come into place when you decide on the location for business. Then the fifth one, we learn about financial information and decisions. Source of finance. How do we get finance from? Short-term, long-term finance, cash flow forecast, working capital to pay for our day-to-day expenses for the business. Then you also learn about income statement and statement of financial position. Okay, income statement, statement of financial position. Remember what you are looking for. When they give you income statement, what are they asking you for? When they give you statement of financial position, what are they trying to tell you? All this you must be very clear. If you are not sure yet, please go back and recap. Okay, analysis of account. We do some calculation, simple calculation. What do we have? Profitability ratio and liquidity. Okay, which one fall under profitability ratio? Which one falls under liquidity? Okay, you must know. And what is the best ratio that you have? Why is it so? Okay, last one, why and how accounts are used. Here you learn about who wants to know, all the stakeholders. Why do they want to know the account of the business? Why do they want to read about the income statement? Why do they want to know the liquidity of the business or profitability of the business? Okay, that is one common question that is asked in the exam. Last part of your content, you learn about the external influences on business activities. So now we finish all about the business within the business itself. Outside of the business, externally, what do we have? Government. Government can set some rules and regulations for to control what are things that you can produce and not. Okay. Government influence on the economic environment. Ethical issue. Ethical issue is also one of the topics that they like to ask nowadays. What are some of the ethical practices the business should have? Do not employ child labor. Do not make workers work overtime. Okay, do not use the materials that are not safe for the user. Okay, all those things that are under ethical issues. Okay, how they impact on the functional areas of business. You also learn about international business, international economy, globalization, international trade. Multinational businesses come in. When you write about multinational companies, we have this short form of MNC, and then with a small s, right? So what happens is, if you are writing in your paper, the first time when you mention this thing, please write it in full, multinational companies, and then bracket MNCS. And then later on, when you repeat the same term, you can use MNCS already. But for the first time, make sure you mention whatever short form that you want to use. But don't create your own short form. It doesn't mean that, I like to, business activities is very long. I just want to write BA. Okay, so for the first time, I write business activity bracket BA. Then later on, I just use BA. Cannot. Don't do that. Only certain terms which are already identified, which we use in the slides, which we use in the notes. Yes, those are the things that you can use. Other than that, don't come out with your own short form. It will not be accepted. Okay, exchange rate. We will learn about exchange rate also. And then legal constraint. What are some of the things that we have when we want to trade, when we want to import and export? Okay, so that sums up all the topics that we covered. I hope that just now when we go through all the topics, you roughly remember what are the things that you know, that you should know. Okay. Next part. Assessment. When we talk about exam papers, how do we measure, okay, which one is more important or not? Okay, so for your assessment, IGCSE paper, I know you all are very familiar already. Hopefully all of the students that are taking IGCSE, you have done at least 10 sets of each paper. Okay. It can consist of like 2023 paper, 2022 paper, 2021. Try, because of the time constraint, right? We are taking exams soon already. So try not to look back at the old topics already, like old papers, 2018 papers, 2020. Be familiarized with the latest way of asking questions. The way they ask questions nowadays is a little bit different, okay, where they ask you the reason why is it so. Why do you calculate liquidity ratio? Why do you need to have current ratio and acid test ratio? You must know the reason why. Okay, not only blindly memorizing the formula on calculating all these things. Formulas all very short only for your business studies. So don't stress so much on it. Okay, as long as you understand what is it. Okay, you also need, you know how to calculate, but you also need to know why do you calculate such things. Okay, so for your paper 1, you have short answers and data response, which carries 50% of your total score. Okay, the whole paper we will divide into 4 sections. Okay, 4 main questions, and every question will have A, B, C, D, E, and it is 20 marks. So 4 questions come up to 80 marks. 4 questions require a mixture of short answer and structured data responses. Candidate answer all the questions, externally assessed. Okay, that one you don't need to worry, which is people will mark for you. Paper 2, case study. You'll be given a case to read through and given 3 appendix, 3 reference about the case. Same thing, 80 marks, 1.5 hour paper. Okay, it is also 50%. So you cannot say I only focus on paper 1 and not paper 2. Or I only focus on paper 2 and not paper 1. No, both of the papers are equally important. Okay, answer 4 questions based on the case study provided as an insert with the paper. So on the day itself, you will be given insert, which is the case study, and also question paper. Candidates answer all the questions. Again, make sure you answer all the questions. If let's say, if the first time when you glance through the case, you cannot really understand what they are trying to tell you, do it very quickly, go through again, a quick one, then start answering questions. You don't have a lot of time. It's 1 hour, 30 minutes for 4 big questions. And every question you will have A and B to answer. So time management is very, very important. From now onwards until your exam day, make sure when you practice, right, time yourself. Set a timer on your watch, on your phone. Make sure you do not exceed 1 hour, 30 minutes. Remember that 1 hour, 30 minutes, including the time for you to check through the paper after you are done, including the time for you to recalculate certain things that you are not sure, including the time where you have to write your name, your center, number, and all. So you really do not have luxury time. Get yourself mentally prepared for the exam. So that's for assessment overview. Okay, now objectives. In your IGCSE Business Studies paper, you need to focus on 4 areas. First one, knowledge and understanding, which are all the things that you have learned past 2 years, this year, last year, all the terms, all the definitions, all those fall under knowledge. And then application. Remember, you will be given case, you will be given stories. So how are you going to link the thing that you have learned to the story itself? So it is very important. Later, I will show you how do we usually analyze what are some of the words that we can possibly apply in the questions when we answer. Third part, analysis. Distinguish evidence and opinion. Order, analyze, and interpret information. In short, you are further explaining your knowledge. When you say, oh, this one is not good for the business, so what? Or why is it so? It depends on the question. What do they want to know about it? So that is your analysis. Last part, evaluation. You will have to evaluate at the long questions, which I'll show you later on. Okay, so remember, for assessment objectives, you have only 4 parts. For your business studies, paper 1, paper 2, you will have knowledge, application, analysis, and also evaluation. 4 main categories. These are some of the command words that you will see in the questions to trigger you or to tell you what they are looking for. Calculate. Make sure you do your calculation, your working. Okay, consider, review, and response to given information. Define. Okay, definition is usually 2 marks question. So how do you get that 2 marks? Define it properly. Okay, explain, identify, justify. Justify is where the evaluation comes in. Okay, outline, just list down. State, express in clear terms. Okay, so the next part of your workshop, we will look into past year papers. So for those are at the center, if you can, please get you can also take your notebook out, or we are looking at May, June 2023 paper 1-2 and 2-2. I've picked 1 question each, okay, from the paper to discuss with you so that you know where to get marks. If you do not have the paper with you, it's okay for those online one. Just get a paper to write down. Okay, what are some of things that you have to make sure you answer it correctly? Whether certain cases, in certain questions, do you need to apply or not? Okay, give me a 1 minute water break. Do you have the paper with you already? Okay. Okay, let's resume. Sorry, the alignment is a little bit out because of change of laptop. Okay, now, never mind. We are taking paper 1-2, the first question itself. Okay, FBW manufacture watches using job production, employs 5, right? Is it 5 in your case? 5 full-time production employees. Each worker is offered a regular training. Last year, FBW sold 600, is it? Watches. 600 watches. The managing director plans to use break-even analysis to help decide whether to increase the price of his product. FBW's current break-even chart is shown in figure 1.1. Okay, first question itself, they give you a diagram already. Oh no, how are you going to answer? Very, very straightforward only. Okay, don't worry. We will look into it one by one. Why do you see boxes on the questions, on the case itself? These are all the words that you can possibly apply. So you must remember, FBW is a manufacturer for watches. So you don't write things about clients. Client is for services. Okay, so this one is on production already. Okay, using job production, full-time production employees, regular training, 600 watches. Then they give you break-even analysis, whether to increase price or not of the product. Have a quick look on the break-even chart. They give you fixed cost, total revenue. First question itself. Let's jump into the questions. First, identify 2 reasons why a business might offer training to its employees. Keyword here, they ask for reason. Okay, don't give me cause. Don't write what happened next. They ask you for reason. Reason of what? A business train employees. You must know the position very well as well, on whose perspective that you are answering the question. This one, is it a benefit to the business or to the employees? To the business, okay? Because they say business train employees. They never say employees receive training outside of the business. Okay, so you must know very well. So 2 marks questions, 2 knowledge marks. Okay, example, sample answer. Reason 1, the trained employees may improve productivity. Benefits to who? To the business. Second one, trained employees tend to reduce mistake made in the production. Why is it a benefit? Why is it good? So you can reduce your wastage, reduce your production costs. Okay, straightforward answer, and you get your 2 marks already. I would advise you not to write only the answer. improve productivity, reduce mistake. Okay, because it is not complete on who will reduce mistake. What do you mean by that? Try to be specific. Write it clearly. It won't hurt you further. Okay, it is your one and only chance to answer. So answer it well, but try not to be too lengthy as well. They ask for knowledge mark only, so you do not need to analyze. Trained employees may improve productivity, so it will increase the output of the business. No need. The second part of it, you don't need to, because it's a repetition. Okay, only 1 mark. Second question, calculate the following values using figure 1.1. 2 marks. Again, 2 of your knowledge mark. Over here, using figure 1.1, we will go back to 1.1, figure 1.1, and look at the break-even output. Where is the break-even output? Where there is intersection of total revenue and total cost, which is 500. So, in the answer, 500 watches. Straightforward. Second one, break-even revenue. Good. Okay, 60,000, which is also clearly shown here in the figure 1.1 already. So 60,000 what? Dollar. If there is dollar, please write dollar. Sometimes they give you figure and they bracket it on top, bracket 000, which means it's thousands. When you answer, you can write 60, you can write 60,000. But if you put in unit like dollar, is $60 and $60,000 the same? It is different. So I will advise you always put unit in. Okay, so that people know you're answering, is it a amount on in terms of like how many units are there or how many kgs are there? And now in this case, how much money involved? How much is it? So make sure you have your sign also, I mean the unit. That's for B. C, outline 2 possible effects on FBW's break-even chart if the prices of its products are increased. Okay, I boxed up, I showed you on FBWs. Why do I highlight this thing? It reminds you that you need to apply. Thank you. Reminds you that you need to apply. What do we mean by apply? Relate it back to the case. FBW is a watch manufacturer. Okay, what are some of the things they have? The number of employees there, how many output per year, all those things that you can possibly apply. They ask you for effects on having this break-even chart to decide whether the price should increase or not. 4 mark questions. So 2 effects, 2 knowledge mark, and 2 application here. Okay. Before we look into the answer, break-even chart. By having break-even chart, we see the total revenue, total cost. When we want to increase price, which one will change? Total? Which one will change? Total revenue or total cost will change? Total revenue will change, assuming the line become more steep, okay, in your diagram, in the break-even chart. So what are some of the possibly effect? Okay, it will reduce the break-even output. Okay, it will draw the break-even output closer, lesser units produced to lesser than 500 units. Just now we said, okay, 500 units is our break-even output, right? So now when you increase the price, your break-even output will actually reduce. Can I understand why? Okay. Actually, I wanted to show you a diagram, but I can't. So sorry. Okay, let's have a look here. This is the current break-even that we have. When you increase price, the total revenue, assuming all products are sold, what will happen? It will increase, right? It will become more steep. So when it's more steep, what will happen? You intersect with the total cost earlier. What happened to the unit here? reduce, drop lesser than 500 units, which is your break-even unit. Okay, second effect, it may increase the revenue by selling all the watches. If you, assuming you are selling all the watches, you can increase your revenue when you increase the price. Straightforward, right? For your application, careful, do not repeat the application in the same question. In C, when you first time you mentioned already 500 units. The second time, your application don't use 500 units, use something else. The whole case full of words that you can apply. Don't just focus on one. Okay. The second time you mentioned watches. If over here you write, it will reduce the break-even output of watches. And the second one you also write by selling all the watches. Both applications are the same. What will happen? You only get one application mark. So don't waste your marks like that. Your application. Excuse me. D. Explain two benefits to FBW of having full-time employees. This one is in your notes already. Why is it good to have full-time employees? 6 mark. How to get 6 mark? For two benefits. So 2 benefits, 2 knowledge mark. Application, because they say 2 FBW. And then 2 analysis. Further explain your point. Example. Benefit 1. Workers are more loyal to the business because full-time employees. Part-time employees, they can choose to work elsewhere whenever you don't call them. Right? Okay, so if you want them to come anytime, they might not be able to show up because they have other commitments as well. Whereas full-time workers, you cannot say, oh, okay, today I decided to go and work for someone else. Tomorrow I will come back. Okay? Cannot. Okay, full-time workers, you have to stay with the business. So one of the good things of having good full-time workers is that they are loyal to the business. We can reach out to them anytime. How do we apply and analyze? FBW can reduce the cost of recruitment because they are loyal. They won't run away from you anytime. Okay, for its 5 employees. That's how you apply already. Any questions so far for this one? Second reason, easy to update the workers if there is any changes. FBW can update employees if there's any changes on the making of watch because they are watch manufacturer. Okay, so it could be more efficient. Further explain, so what? That is your analysis. Okay, so analysis, look at it the way that you are supporting your point. Why do you say that point is a benefit? Further explain why is that a benefit. So that's for question D. They ask you to explain 6 mark questions, which means 2 knowledge, 2 application, 2 analysis. If in the questions they never mention the business to FBW, okay, explain two benefits of businesses having full-time employees. Do you need application marks? No need. Okay, you do not need to link it to FBW at all. You do not need to link it to making watches at all. So where do you get the 4 marks? 2 marks for knowledge only. Where are the 4 marks? Analysis, analysis. Further explain why is it a benefit. Okay? Okay, E, the last part of your one whole questions for your paper 1. Do you think job production is the best method production for small business to use? Over here, did they mention the business name? No. So do you need to allocate points for application? Do you need to mention FBW? Do you need to mention watches? No. Okay, straightforward. Now they ask you, is job production the best for small business, not for large business, for small business? There's always reason why they put certain terms. Okay, we look into it in a short while. 6 mark questions. What are the 6 marks that we get? How do we get the 6 marks? 2 knowledge, 2 analysis, 2 evaluation. Okay, 2 knowledge as in like the 2 advantages or disadvantages if you want to mention. Okay, analyze the advantages and disadvantages of job production. You can also compare to batch production. Okay, so first you must discuss the thing that they mentioned first. Over here in the question, they say job production. So discuss on job production first. You can analyze by discussing on the good thing about job production and bad thing about job production. Next, you can also talk about different types of production like batch production. Why can't it be flow production? Good. Okay, flow production always produce large quantities. Over here, they mentioned already for small business. That's why I say every word they give, actually they are reminding you of something. For small business, we don't use flow production because flow production produce in large quantity, which is not suitable for small businesses. Okay, so now you have 2 marks of like, okay, why is it good or not good of having job production? Then you give suggestion. Small business can also use batch production to produce. Why is it so? Another 2 more marks. And final, evaluation. How do you get the evaluation marks? By making your stand. Okay, which one do you support? Do you think, back to the question, do you think job production is the best for small business? Or do you think the suggestion that you gave, batch production, is the best for small business production? And then further explain why. Don't reuse the point that you mentioned there already. So make sure you have certain points keep in your pocket for your final evaluation mark. When you answer this question, don't start with, yes, I think job production is the best method of production for a small business because blah, 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 blah. Then you continue by saying, however, there are some disadvantages of job production. Aren't you slapping your own face? You're saying, yes, I fully support. Then suddenly you say, but there's disadvantages. So when you first answer this question, don't state your point of view. Don't state on that. Which standing are you first? Which side are you supporting? No. Just discuss purely on, okay, is job production good for small business or not? Yes, why is it so? No, why is it so? Okay, then what are some of the other ways of for the production of small business? Or you give another example. Then later on, evaluation part, that's where you need to make your stand. I think which one is the best because why is this good and not the other one? That's how you answer. But don't repeat the point that you mentioned on top for your knowledge and analysis mark, because we cannot give you 2 marks for the same thing. Okay? Clear? So be careful when you answer. Imagine you are given this answer. I think job production, when you start the answer by, I think job production is the best production method for small business because whatever. However, isn't it weird when you read that? So don't give your opinion first. Okay? Analyze the thing first. Job production, why is it good, not good? Give other suggestion, why is it good, not good? Then only you give your own point of view, your standing. Which one do you support and why not the other one? Okay, that is for question E. A lot of students are not confident in answering question E. Okay, especially the questions that require you to evaluate. That is why I re-emphasize again. Okay, don't worry as long as you know what you are answering. Unless you tell me, actually, I do not know what am I writing. Sorry, I can't help you. Okay? But I expect you all to know already what is job production, batch production, flow production. Why is it good? Why is it not good? All these things are the topics that we have learned. So take this time to recap. Okay? Don't just do questions blindly without thinking, oh, what are some of the points that we can possibly answer when they ask such topic. And this is just one small topic, production, that we talk about. What about other topics that we have covered? Okay, you cannot afford to lose any of the marks. So try to cover as many topics as possible. That's for paper 1. Any question for paper 1? I only discuss one questions, A, B, C, D, E, because we have time constraint. Okay, for this our online, any question for paper 1? Like select A, B, C, D? Oh, no. For business studies, both papers are subjective papers where you have to write. There is no A, B, C, D in your exam paper. No multiple choice questions for your business studies. This is a type of questions for your paper 1, okay, where you have 4 main questions, and then you will have A, B, C, D, E in every questions. Later on, I will show your paper 2. Okay, see that? Clear? Welcome. Any other question for your paper 1? Okay. Okay. In that case, I'll assume there's no other questions. If you have questions, you can ask later on also. Okay, now let's have a look on your paper 2. Long case. Teacher, you sure we want to go through all the question, the whole case? Not really. Okay. Have a look on your insert paper 2 May, June 2023, paper 2. The insert. Those words that I underlined are the words that you can possibly apply. Okay. Zain and Zara are both actors. They want to start a theater in a low-income area. So bear in mind, they are both actors. Any past experience of doing business? No. But what do they want to do now? They want to set up a theater. Theater for who? The low-income earners. Okay. So they also believe that helping the community is as important as being successful entrepreneur. So this one talk about a little bit on that, what ethical issues. Okay. The theater will be a private sector business, and Zain and Zara have to decide whether to start up as an unincorporated business or limited company. Okay, so there is a chance of them asking you question about difference between partnership and limited company. What's the difference? That's when your limited liability, okay, all this comes in. Zain is planning to prepare a cash flow forecast for the first year. Before you start the business, you need to know where are the cash flowing into the company, where you get the cash from, and what are the things that you have to spend on. Cash inflow and cash outflow for the first year. Zara knows that they will need to set business objectives. What are some of the business objectives that you have? Profit, growth. First one is a new business. Survival. Okay, so survival, profit, growth. What else do you want to see? Provide the community. That's the last one. There's one more. Increase market share. Yes, increase market share. Those are the 5 objectives of business. Please go back and recap. Okay, and also decide on leadership style. What leadership style do we have? Laissez-faire, democratic, autocratic. Okay, when managing the employees. ET will have 24 part-time employees. As shown in Appendix 1, we'll look into it later on. Zain and Zara plan to put on performances in the evening for the local people and tourists. So who are their targeted markets? The local people and tourists. Remember, the local people are all low-income earners. There will be 100 seats in the theater, but not all the seats will be sold if the price is too high. Why did they mention that? Again, because they are targeting on low-income market. Good. Okay. The marketing manager, Zara, will need to decide which performances to put on, what prices to charge, and which refreshments to sell. What type of food to sell? Do they sell popcorns? Do they sell curry puff? Or whatever things. Okay, Zara will also need to decide whether between the two possible options for the first performance when the theater opens. Information in Appendix 2, we'll look into it later on. Next part, it says, in the daytime, they say the performances is only in the evening. So what happened in daytime? Daytime, they want to use the building for daycare, a local social enterprise. Who are they taking care of? Young children up to age of 5, that low-income family, so that the low-income family members can go out to work. So again, they are telling you they want to benefit the community there, the low-income group. So both parents have to go work to earn for living. Who is going to jaga the baby? Who is there to take care of the children? Okay, they plan to set a daycare center there to take the kids up to 5 years old. What do they do there? What do the kids do there? They will provide education, so children will learn there, which help them to develop and progress before they start school, before they move into their primary school. So they will teach them some basic, maybe ABC, some basic skills, communication skills, how to work together with others and all. Some of daycare's objectives are different from those of ET. Why is it so? Why the business objective of ET and the business objective of this daycare will be different? Because daycare focus on the welfare of the people for the low income ones. So if they want to, can their objective be earning high profit? Cannot. Where ET would want to earn higher profit, but for daycare cannot be because they have to take care of the welfare of those low income earners. Second part, they give you appendix. Appendix 1, proposed organizational chart for the theater. Okay, so there will be 2 main manager, marketing manager Zara, finance and administration manager Zane, and then they have a few workers under them. The number in brackets are the number of part-time employees who work in each department. So for actors, they have 10 part-time actors. Understand this part? We do not know what they want to ask us yet until we look into the questions. So let's move into the questions. Appendix 2. Okay, forecast data for 2 possible options for ET's first performance at the theater. Remember, they have to decide which one to perform. So they list down the costing for both performances. Option 1, how many workers needed? What's the average wage? What other costs involved? And then the forecast revenue, assuming all the 100 seats are sold. Okay, option 1, option 2, we will analyze later on. Appendix 3, email from Zane to Zara. Email between the 2 partners now. We want to support the local community and we need to make decision about the following. Should we pay fair wages even though they may be higher than those paid by the competitors' theater? Only buy costumes produced in the local community, means we don't import at all. Purchase all refreshments from suppliers that do not pollute the environment. Okay, so that is another ethical issues. Do you want to support those businesses that mass produce food? You get it at a cheaper price, but at the same time, you know very well that whenever they produce, they are actually polluting the air? Or do you want to support those that focus on like not polluting the air in their production process? Okay, so this is for Appendix 3. Let's go to the question paper. You will have 1, 2, 3, 4 main questions, and every question you will have 2 sub-questions A and B. Let's look at 1A. Explain 4 characteristics needed for an entrepreneur to be successful. Characteristics of entrepreneur. 8 marks. How do you get your 8 marks? 1 knowledge, 1 analysis. Need to apply or not? No. Why? They never mention the business name. They never mention to Zane and Zara. They never mention to ET. Okay? So it's in general. What are the 4 characteristics of a successful entrepreneur and why? Risk taker. A lot of students like to write in short, risk taker. Give me point form, risk taker, then dash, why? Okay, don't write in paragraph. You just need to add in another few more words. An entrepreneur is a risk taker as he's willing to risk losing all his own capital to start a business. Second one, entrepreneur has to be creative. So what? So why? He will be able to find new and different ways to attract customers. Entrepreneur has self-confidence, okay, in making decisions and presenting ideas. And the last one, entrepreneur is an effective communicator in what? In persuading other people. Persuading other people to do what? To come and watch, to come and buy their products, okay, to supply for them, to come and work for them. There are many things. There are many possibilities that they have to persuade different group of people. Okay, so this is just a sample. You have more characteristics of entrepreneur. What other characteristics that we have besides risk-taking, creative, self-confidence, and communicator, effective communicator? Wise, decision-making. No. Wise is too general, cannot. You have learned it in your notes. No idea? Hard. Innovative, yes. Hard working or diligent. Remember, when you first start the business, you need to sacrifice some of your personal time to take care of the business. Okay, diligent or be ready to spend more time in the business. Sorry, patience. Patience is more like dealing with people. Determination can, persistence. Yeah, don't give up easily. Brave in what area? No, cannot. Okay, go back and recap on your notes. We move on to the next question, yeah? B, consider the advantages and disadvantages of starting up ET as either an unincorporated business or as a limited company. Which should Zain and Zara choose? Justify your answer. I shortened it because I want to keep it in one page. Okay, so you will see more lines on your paper. Unincorporated business, they give you a few lines to answer. Limited company, they give you a few lines to answer. And then recommendation, you also got a few lines to answer. It's a one-page thing. Okay, I just copy the top part. So now, 12 marks. Wow, teacher, 12 marks. How to get 12 marks? Very easy on it. For the two parts that they mentioned, whether is it unincorporated business or limited company, they already tell you, consider the advantages and disadvantages. So, list down advantages, disadvantages. Then you need to apply. Why need to apply? Starting up ET. The one that I already boxed it up. Can you see that? So make sure you apply. Link it back to ET, which is, what business is that? A theater. A theater. What are they supposed to do? Perform. Okay, so you must have all these things in mind. Okay, advantages, disadvantages, and then the application. And you further analyze your point. And for recommendation part, clear understanding. And then tell me you support A. Maybe your A is limited company. Maybe your A is unincorporated business. And why not B? Clearly stated. Okay, don't reuse the point mentioned above, like what happened in your paper 1 that I mentioned just now for the E questions. Do not reuse the same point because we cannot grade you 2 times. You don't tell me an incorporated business is easy to start up, Then your recommendation, I think an incorporated business is good because it is easy to start. Sorry, because it is not difficult to start. You are just answering the same thing in the other way. Don't do that. You don't get marks for that. Okay, don't play around with words just like that. If you are given this point already, you give this point for the unincorporated business already, then don't repeat for your recommendation. Write something else. You do not need to write all your good and all the advantages and disadvantages in just one unincorporated business. You keep some for your recommendation to further support your decision. Okay? Can? Okay, I'm not going to give you a sample answer here, but I'll show you how do they grade your marks. It is not so straightforward like one knowledge, one application, one analysis. Okay, they'll have to read through overall on the 3 parts answer and then grade you accordingly. Have a look here. So over here is actually, this side is actually level. Okay, so you have 0, level 1, level 2, up to level 3 and grades. On the right side here, 0 means 0 mark. 1 to 4, maximum up to 4 marks that you get. And then later on, we have up to 12 marks. How do you get that one? Let's look at the first category first. First category. Limited application of knowledge and understanding of relevant business concept. You don't apply at all. What do you mean by unincorporated business? You don't really know. Okay, when you answer, the marker should know already your understanding level of this topic. Whether is it you really understand or you're just trying to blast something out of it. Okay, if let's say you say unincorporated business means the businesses they are not incorporated. You don't tell me anything. You don't get mark for that. Don't think that you are writing corporated, incorporated, all those things are professional. No. Okay, so be wise on the words choices. Don't just rinse and repeat the same thing again. Just turn it the other way around and assume people will know, oh, it's different thing. No. What do you mean by unincorporated? Tell me about that. Okay, limited ability to discuss the options with little or no explanation. It is easy to set up and no further explanation. You touch and go on every point. Simple judgment with limited justification, limited evaluation of the choice made. This one is on your recommendation. I think this is the best for business. Full stop. There's no explanation why. Further explain why is it the best. You don't give me your answer. Then cannot. Candidate outlining both options in context should be rewarded with the top marks in the band. Have a look here. If you outline both options, which means you discuss about both options in context means what? Related to the case that's given to you, which is ET. In this case, ET, right? The business. Okay, when you relate it back to ET, you can analyze well the advantages and disadvantages of having unincorporated business and also another one is what? Limited company. Okay, you will be graded the top band, which is level 3 scores. Okay, I will skip level 2. Let's focus on level 3. How do you get the best out of the 12 marks? Sound application of knowledge and understanding of relevant business concept using appropriate terminology. Low cost of production. You tell me low cost. Cost of what? There are a lot of costs. Wage cost, variable cost, fixed cost. Be specific. Use the right term. Detailed discussion of both options. How can it be detailed? When you analyze both advantages and disadvantages in this case and relate it back to the context, the case. Well-justified recommendation, like what we said just now. Make sure you have a clear standing on which one do you think is the best for the business. Why is it so? Candidate discussing both options in detail, in context, and its well-justified conclusion, including why the alternative option was rejected, should be rewarded with the top marks in the band. Have a look on the last part again. They say you have to discuss both options in details, talk about the advantages, disadvantages, in context, relate it back to the case, which is your application, and then well-justified conclusion. How do we categorize the conclusion as a well-justified conclusion? When you mention why the alternative option was rejected. Remember what I said just now? In conclusion, I think A is better compared to B because what and what and what, and why not B? Don't miss out that part. Okay, over here, you also need to talk about a little bit more disadvantages of B compared to A. That is your well-justified conclusion already. Clear on how to get marks for your 8-mark questions and 12-mark questions? Yes? We'll look into a few more examples here, follow the upcoming questions. Okay, explain one business objective for ET and one other objective that the social enterprise like daycare might have. So now one objective for ET, one objective for daycare. Already give you part of the answers already. 2A, 8-mark questions. How do you get your 8 marks? First part, 1 knowledge, 2 analysis, 1 application. Okay. What are business objectives? Survival, profit, growth, market share. And what about social enterprise? Same thing, 1 knowledge, 2 analysis, and 1 application. What are some of the objectives that you want to see? They can help local people, provide childcare to the low-income parents, provide education for the preschool student children from low-income families. Okay, when you mention low-income families, you are actually applying already because they mentioned it in the case. The daycare is to target for those parents need to go work and they are of low income. That's how you answer your 2A. 2B. Oh, they ask us to calculate. Have a look here. Using Appendix 2, make sure you refer back to your Appendix 2 and other information. Consider the 2 options for the first performance at the theater. Which is the best option for Zara to choose? Justify your answer using suitable calculation. They tell you the number of actors or employees, and then they tell you the average cost per actor or employees. What do you need to calculate? What do you think you need to calculate? They give you number of employees. They tell you the average wage of the employee. Total wage cost. Okay, so the total wage for option 1, 30 times 7 people, $210. Option 2, 240. Even though the average wage is lower compared to the option 1, but then you see the total wage is more because they need more workers. What else do we need to calculate? When you know the total wage already, then they give you other costs. So what do? Calculate the good total cost. So what is the total cost for option 1? 1,000 plus your 210, 1,210. Option 2, 2,000 cost and also plus the wage cost, 240, 2,240. Now you see the difference in figure? Then we can further explain one by one if you want to. So now, number of actors, lower variable cost because lesser workers. Okay, average cost per actor, 30, which is 20 more than option 2. I put it in red because it's a disadvantage here. Okay, what about other costs? The option 1 only need 1,000 and option 2 you need to spend 2,000 on other costs. So it's 1,000 lower. And forecast revenue assuming 100 seats are sold. Now you are selling at a lower price. How much per ticket? $10. Why 10? 1,000 divided by 100 seats. Okay, so $10 per ticket. What is it? What does it tell you when you compare to the option 2? Option 2 will be $25. It is cheaper and then so the demand may be higher. Good, because they are doing it in the low income area. But you can also put it as a negative point. Your revenue will be lower also compared to this one, assuming all 100 seats are sold. Second option. Sorry. I'm not going to repeat everything. Okay, but you can see that the wage cost is lower. Why? There's possibility that the workers are not skilled. That's why you can hire them. You can hire more of them at a lower rate. Okay, and then one more, forecast revenue. The revenue is higher, assuming all the tickets are sold. Okay, but also it's a negative point where you assuming all the tickets are sold. What if not all the tickets sold, right? You cannot expect everyone to buy the ticket. Maybe not everyone wants to watch. You have 100 seats, doesn't mean that 100 seats will be occupied with people. Okay, so that is for your B. I will stop here by giving you question 1 and 2 sample on how to answer. Any questions on the paper here, on the 2 questions that we discussed? Yes, sorry. Will IG ask you? Yes, possible. They may ask you to define. There is possibility that they will ask you to define. So definition is always 2 marks. So if let's say it's a 2 marks questions, 2 marks definition, you don't just write 1 point out of it. Make sure you write it in full. Welcome. Any other questions? Those are attending online. Any other questions for your business studies paper? Nope. Okay. Before I dismiss you, just a few advice. Okay. First, you must understand the exam format. So if you are still not sure how will the papers be like, please do past year papers. Practice the past year papers to be familiarized of the way on how they ask questions, how to tackle the points, like what I mentioned just now, knowledge, application, analysis, evaluation. When do you need to apply? When you don't need to apply? You should know by now. Okay. And then time management. How long is one paper? 1.5 hours. You don't have luxury time or sit down, start meditating for 5 minutes. Only you start looking into the paper. Oh, start to try to understand. Oh, this is what and what and what. Don't sleep too late the day before your exam. Why? The next day you cannot focus. The day before your exam, you are not supposed to go through past year paper anymore. What should you do? Glance through the notes. Read the notes. Recap on all the definition again. All the formulas. All the possible advantages, disadvantages, opportunities and threats. No more trying to answer paper with the time allocated to you. Those things should be done way long ago before you entering the exam hall. Okay, you have 2 weeks to go, right? 2 to 3 weeks to go for your business study paper. It's not too late. Start practicing your past year paper. If you do 1 paper a day, you can cover 20 papers already. But doesn't mean that you just answer and not knowing whether you can. Sorry, hold on. I'll get back to you in a short while. Doesn't mean that you answer everything and just keep it in the file. Do you know whether your answer is correct or not? Okay, if let's say you do not have, your teachers have no time to mark for you, to discuss with you, then you have to look into your mark scheme with the permission of your teachers. Okay, previously I advised them not to look into answer key because what happened is once you look into answer key, you will be very dependent on the answers. You won't want to think, which topic should I cover? Which topic are they asking me on? Okay, you won't think already because it's an easy access. So try it on your own first. Until you finish the whole paper, you can mark it on your own, no problem. At least you know where you answer wrongly, which one you understand wrongly. Okay, so refer to the mark scheme after you do the paper, not when you are doing your paper. Okay, time management, remember, you have 1.5 hours. What I like to do is to always put a clock, a watch right in front of me. I will take out my watch and put it right in front of me so I can check the time. 1.5 hours, remember I mentioned just now, it's not only for you to answer the questions, but it is also for you to recheck all your answers. Make sure your handwriting is readable. Okay, many of you, your handwriting is like scripts. I don't know. It's just too cursive. And sometimes I have to flip the paper here and then turn it around or try to guess what you are trying to tell me. Remember, the examiners, the one that mark your paper, they have 200 to 300 papers to mark. Okay? 2 to 3 papers to mark with all the words there. Do you think they have time to really look into it one by one and try to think what you are trying to tell them? No. So you must make it easier for the marker to mark your paper by giving good handwriting. Please, handwriting, improve on your handwriting. Next one, read instruction carefully. Over here, you have to answer paper 1, paper 2, all the questions. So don't think of skipping one question, choosing the one that you know only. No, you have to answer all. My advice for those that are not sure on certain topics, just try to attempt to answer the questions only. Don't leave it blank. You leave it blank, you got 0 chance to get marks. But if you answer, somehow you get it right, you still got a few marks to go. Okay? Don't waste your marks by leaving the whole thing blank. Okay? Read the instruction carefully. If they ask you to apply related to the business, yes, please do so. If they never ask you to relate, don't do that. You are wasting your points only. Okay, check your word. Check your work. Whether is it a tidy work or not. Start practicing now. Don't draw, don't write, and when you exceed the margin line, let me show you. Give you an example. Over here, you write everything already. Not enough space. Oh. Wow, you draw an arrow. Right here. No, don't do that. Plan your answers. Okay, don't be so untidy. There is a place for them to give scores and do remark, not for you to write. Over here also the same thing. Don't. Write on the line itself. Okay, so make sure your answers are all the one that you want to present to the marker. Okay, let's get back to CZ. What K stands for? K stands for the knowledge. Knowledge referring to all the terms, definitions, all the points given or you learned in your the whole IGCSE syllabus. So all the knowledge are actually K. It can include the advantages, disadvantages, the types, the methods. All those are under K marks, depending on the question. So you must be familiarized with the syllabus. Okay. In such a short time, you have only 2 weeks to go. If you have not done notes before, okay, I will advise you to go online to look for free notes available, like IGCSE 8. Okay, IGCSE 8, you will get notes for your business studies or Z notes. But Z notes, I will put it as a last option, the reading material for you the day before exam, because it is very brief. You don't learn in detail. Certain things that will skip. Did I answer your questions, is that? Okay, welcome. Any other questions? Evaluation only on certain questions where you need to justify. Evaluation. The last one is evaluation. So evaluation is usually for the last questions. They ask you to justify, analyze, give your reason why is it so. They give you the part where you have to recommend which is your best option or conclusion. Okay, there is standard evaluation. Okay, is that? Okay, good. Any other questions? The students are here. Okay, no problem. Okay, if there's no questions, I wish you all the best for your IGCSE Business Studies paper. Okay, get ready for both papers. Get your pen ready. Don't use light blue pen, please. If you are using ink or gel pen, please make sure you can, it will be dried up easily or fast. Don't write and drag your answers and the whole thing smash. Then they cannot see what you are writing. Then you miss out all your marks already. Okay, use ball pen the safest lah, because it dried up the fastest. Okay, use black or blue pen only. Bring your calculator in just in case you have simple calculation like the cost revenue, like break even, acid test ratio, all the ratio, profitability. Okay, all those things you need to calculate. Okay. Okay, that's all. Thank you, everyone.